moment. But right now, let's go to Congressman Alan Grayson of the state of Florida. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Ed.
What is your take on this really looking to be like an overwhelming win by Donald Trump tonight? What does it say about your state? And do you think he'd have a shot at winning Florida in the general election?
Well, what it shows is that he was against extremely weak candidates. Marco Rubio, good riddance. I have no idea why anybody ever thought that Marco Rubio should be president of the United States. It's true that he has a sort of a lean and thirsty look, as Shakespeare would put it. But the fact is that he's done nothing for anybody that would suggest anything resembling the kind of leadership that we expect from President of the United States. He hasn't passed a single bill in 5 years. His attendance record is the worst in the Senate, worse than 82-year-old Dianne Feinstein. And he stands for nothing. He doesn't even have a base within his own party. So I just don't get it. We have to do better than that for sure. It's not so much that Trump was strong, it's that Rubio was so weak.
Do you think that Rubio and Bush will get together and head up some kind of a coordinated effort to thwart Donald Trump as the nominee? Do you think that will intensify? Is that the conversation in Florida?
It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Neither Trump nor Rubio has any real pull anymore. And in fact, the Trump supporters are clearly more and more furious with the so-called leaders of their so-called party, that the leaders are trying to dictate to them who the nominee should be. That's something that this is the voters' year to decide. That much is clear with both the Republican and the Democratic parties. This time the voters get to decide. And it doesn't matter what Rubio says or what Bush says.
Congressman Grayson, how do you give analysis to Hillary Clinton's big win tonight over Bernie Sanders? Is it just too long of an association for the Clintons in Florida for Bernie Sanders to overcome? Obviously, the numbers played out that way.
Well, I mean, what we've seen up to this point, Ed, is that there's actually two different primaries happening. There's the Southern primary, and then there's the everywhere else primary. And in the South, Hillary, before tonight, had won by an average of 42 points. It looks like she probably will reach around 32 in Florida, so actually not as well as she's done elsewhere around the South, and considerably less than that, if I understand the numbers correctly, in North Carolina. And Hillary's right from the start. The thing is that, Ed, tonight is the last night that any southern state will vote in this primary. Now we'll be hearing from the West. None of the Pacific states has voted yet, not a single one. We'll be hearing from the mountain states. Only Nevada and Colorado have voted among all the mountain states so far. We'll be hearing more from the Midwest, and we'll be hearing from the big states in the Northeast like Pennsylvania and New York. And in those areas, Bernie Sanders has done quite well. Before tonight, outside of the South, Bernie had won 7 out of 10 races by an average of 19 points. So if that's the way it's going to be from now on, then this is going to be a very, very competitive campaign.
So it looks like Hillary Clinton could win the table tonight and pick up a lot of momentum. But you are confident that the best is yet to come for Bernie Sanders, and even though the math is pretty tough, he still has a viable way to get the nomination?
I don't think the math is really that tough. Like I said, there's a front-loading of the old South states that marks the primary season. At this point, at the end of the night, I think Hillary Clinton will probably be up by fewer than 300 pledged delegates. California alone has 545 delegates, and California votes on June 7th. So does New Jersey, another big state. So I don't think that this is going to be over until June 7th. You may recall that when President Obama was running against Secretary Clinton, that race wasn't over till June 7th either. And I think you might see the same thing this time.
Congressman Alan Grayson from Florida with us tonight here on our extended coverage on RT America. Congressman, good to have you with us. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you very much, Ed.